You're watching Tea and Poetry with Dave Steele, the blind poet.
So, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another week of Tea and Poetry. Big welcome to you all. What has been a really big, busy and hectic week, and next week is going to be even more with everything that's going on next week. But we're going to be discussing that in just a little while. It's also National Puppy Day, of all things. So we're going to be talking about that as well. I've got my little puppy. I say little puppy. He's 9 this year. My guide dog, Christopher, just at the side of me at the moment. I know Dave, Sedona Dave's out there. He'll have his pup with him. So we're going to be talking about that kind of thing. We've also had National Poetry or World Poetry Day, which was on Monday. So I was very busy for that over here. A lot of kind of features on some various social media pages and radio interviews that I was doing, which went out on Monday as well. So we're going to talk about that. And obviously, I've got some new pieces of poetry for you all as well. But before we do this, I'm going to see if I can just pick up the technical side of stuff. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm enabling the captions, and I am going to invite all of you to kind of turn your cameras on if you so wish to as well. So let me just work out how to do that again. Hang on a second. So just make sure you keep yourself muted until invited in. Turn your cameras on so I can see all your wonderful faces. Let me see if I can see anyone now. There we go. There we go. I can see a few people now. Cindy, hi. I can see Cindy. See you waving there. Travis has not got his camera on. Everyone wave. Oh, there we go. Hey, Derek, looking rather cool in your hat. Trish, Amy, I see you there. Fantastic. Excellent. Okay, so while we're waiting on Barry, let me just get comfy. Been a very busy week. The last week since we last gathered here for last week's Tea and Poetry. It's been a lot going on, and obviously getting prepared for a really exciting week next week. I'm at that stage now where I'm going to bed every night, kind of going over in my mind everything that's to come over the next couple of weeks or so, and really gonna appreciate and take in these moments as they come. For those of you that don't know, next Tuesday it starts for me. Tuesday I will be heading down to London in the morning to go to the RNIB, the RNIB See Differently Awards. The RNIB is the Royal National Institute for the Blind, the main sight loss charity here in the UK. And it is their annual See Differently Awards, where I am one of the finalists. I was nominated by a lot of people on here and on my social media under the category of social media impact. And there's myself and another 2 finalists in that category. I think there's three finalists in each category, and there's some amazing people, amazing organizations as well, all from the UK, who are going to be highlighted during that amazing award ceremony at this beautiful venue in central London. It's in Westminster, which I believe is not far from Trafalgar Square. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. And it's near kind of the Houses of Parliament and all those kind of things as well. It's a place called 9 Northumberland, which is kind of a posh kind of venue. So it's going to be really lovely being there with all these amazing people. And so I'm there on Tuesday night for the award ceremony, stay over in London on the Tuesday night. And then on the Wednesday, I will be getting a train back from London to Manchester, which is about a 2.5-hour journey on the train. I'll have assistants to help me as usual on and off the train. And then literally when I get back into Manchester at about 2:33 p.m. in the afternoon, I will be straight back home to do a COVID test, which is my fit to fly test, because I have a cab booked for 2:30 in the morning for myself and my wife, Amy, to leave to the airport to fly from Manchester to Frankfurt, and then Frankfurt in Germany, all the way 11.5 hours to San Francisco. where I'm going to be speaking at a very, very special event for Foundation Fighting Blindness. I'm the keynote speaker at an event that's taking place at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Half Moon Bay, called Investing in Cures, and it's going to be it's a private event for all their top donors and people from the research background, biotechnology and retinal specialists, some of the top specialists around the world who are searching for cures for conditions like retinitis pigmentosa, macular degeneration, and all these different things. So it's going to be an amazing conference. That takes place on the Friday and the Saturday. And on the Friday night, I'm going to be the keynote speaker, reading them some poetry and talking about my story, which is going to be an amazing honor. And it's going to be Amy's first time in America too. So that's going to be a really special trip. Plus, it's also the first time we've been away overseas together on our own without our children. We've never been away together. We never had a honeymoon. So a long weekend in San Francisco, even though it's work, we'll definitely be making the most of it and, soaking in the moments, especially at such a beautiful place like the Ritz-Carlton at Half Moon Bay. So amazing week next week. I can't wait to share it with you all. I'm going to be taking photos. We're going to be doing videos. Barry's going to be there with us on the Thursday. So it's going to be incredible. And yeah, I really can't wait to share with you. And we're going to be talking more about that as I get ready for it next week. So next week, I don't know if you guys in America are aware of this. Your clocks went forward a couple of weeks ago and ours haven't yet. So normally there's a 5-hour difference between the UK and the States, or the East Coast, I should say, which is where I kind of go off because that's where Barry's based. So 5-hour difference between New York time, East Coast, Eastern time, and the UK. You guys are 5 hours behind normally. At the moment, it's 4 hours. So normally it's 9 p.m. for tea and poetry here on a Wednesday night. But for the last couple of weeks, it's been 8 p.m., which has been great. But next week, sod's law, typical, the night where I'd want an early night before flying to America, it's back to 9 o'clock. So I will be doing tea and poetry and then staying awake until our cab picks us up at 2:30 in the morning. So it's going to be pretty exciting. But anyway, onto some poetry and onto talking about all the wonderful things that we've got to discuss tonight. I've written a few pieces of poetry, and as I said, on Monday it was National or World Poetry Day, I should say, World Poetry Day. And it was a great day for highlighting all the wonderful poets around the world and how poetry can be used in so many different ways to express what we're kind of feeling and going through. And that's exactly what I try to do with my poetry. And I was talking about RNIB because I'm, one of the finalists for the awards next week, but I was actually on RNIB have a radio station called RNIB Connect Radio, and they featured me on Monday for World Poetry Day and had a recording of me reading out the poem that I debuted here only just a few weeks ago, which was the poem written from the perspective of a mobility cane, which I know you guys all kind of really loved. So I actually debuted that on the radio on Monday, and the response has been incredible for World Poetry Day. A lot of people really sending lots of messages about how they related to that piece of poetry, and it really inspired them to use their canes more, which is exactly the reason I wrote it. So the piece of poetry I want to read to you to start off tonight is something that I wrote just a few days ago, and it is actually about those misconceptions, and it starts off talking about how I use my cane and how lots of us kind of use our canes in different ways. So I'll read this to you. Normally Barry is taking notes, but I'm sure you guys are going to kind of listen and relate to different parts of this. Here we go. Sometimes you'll see me with my cane, then other times you won't. But if you think I'm faking my vision loss, then don't. Because 93% of us can see a little bit, and blindness is a spectrum in your box we won't all fit. There's many ways that vision fades. It's not all black and white. And those who say we're faking, your behavior's just not right. The lack of education, misconceptions that we hear is making people's pride and independence disappear. We all deserve the right to be not judged when we are out by strangers who, when we look back at them, our vision doubts. So if you're reading this and you relate to what I say, or didn't know our lives could be affected in this way, then share my words around the world so more people will see that blindness is a spectrum, same as disability. There we go. Thank you.
I am back.
Oh, we're back. Did you even hear that?
I heard part of it.
Right. In that case, Barry, let me read it for you one more time.
Thank you.
Because this is something that has definitely been on topic recently. I was just talking about how it was World Poetry Day on Monday, and there was a lot of my poetry shared on social media. But in particular, I did a radio interview for RNIB and Guide Dogs UK, which are two of the biggest charities here, or they are the two biggest low vision and blindness charities here in the UK. Guide Dogs and RNIB both shared the piece of poetry that I debuted on here only just a few weeks ago, that was written from the perspective of the mobility cane. I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah, it's one of my, that's actually one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, and mine too, actually. And the messages I've been getting from people and the response it got on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook from RNIB and Guide Dogs social media has been incredible. So I wrote something along those lines that wanted to really talk about these misconceptions. And I'll read it one more time because you just kind of missed it. So here we go.
Thank you.
There's a lot of lines in this.
Okay, hold on one second. I like to get my paper out.
Of course, of course.
Go ahead.
Sometimes you'll see me with my cane, then other times you won't. But if you think I'm faking my vision loss, then don't. Because 93% of us can see a little bit, and blindness is a spectrum in your box we won't all fit. There's many ways that vision fades. It's not all black and white. And those who say we're faking, your behavior's just not right. The lack of education, misconceptions that we hear is making people's pride and independence disappear. We all deserve the right to be not judged when we are out by strangers who, when we look back at them, our vision doubts. So if you're reading this and you relate to what I say, or didn't know our lives could be affected in this way, then share my words around the world so more people will see that blindness is a spectrum, same as disability.
Outstanding. So obviously, yes, blindness is a spectrum. And, you know, the way you started off with that piece, as far as that, sometimes you'll see me with and without a cane. Yep. Now, last week, unfortunately, I could not participate because I was attending a conference called CSUN. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with CSUN. It's on the West Coast. It was in Anaheim, California. And it was an incredible, show where we had the ability to feature a lot of the new technology, to see a lot of industry, colleagues, which we haven't seen in a very long time. Because I think this was our first, show, really on a large scale, getting back, which was really nice. And the show was well attended from individuals across the country. So it was great. And then maybe I'll have an opportunity to share for those of you maybe saw, I think we started off our exhibit has a very larger than life image of Dave wearing a pair of Oxide Onyx smart glasses. And that really stood out. It really made an impact as far as our display. But going back to, with and without the cane, there was...
Sorry, just before you do that, Barry, I've just got to say something on CSUN just a second. Because, although I was there in spirit with a big image behind next to our good friend Justin Bishop, I got to say, I know when you popped on last week at the beginning, you were there with Sam Seavey and and Diane was there. And obviously I was very, jealous that I couldn't be there with you, was really, missing you guys and wanting to be there. Even more so by what I saw on Sam Seavey's social media, that Stevie Wonder himself was in the building. And there were you guys too. That was incredible.
Yes. So you actually beat me to the punchline because I was you reminded me of Stevie Wonder. So obviously I think everyone here can say they know who Stevie Wonder is. Maybe Derek, not sure. You know Stevie Wonder? Okay.
Yeah.
Because my 15-year-old, I know you're not 15, but when I told I'll tell you about that in a second. My 15-year-old never heard of Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
And the first thing that he did was he went on to see how many followers he has on Instagram or something like that, and he wasn't impressed. But in any event, when you mentioned With or Without a Cane, and so we got word that Stevie Wonder was at the on the exhibit floor, and people were like, "Oh, did you see him?" I was like, "No, we did not see him come by. If we do, we'll let you know." People were wanting to get his attention, and then sure enough, like literally like 60 seconds later, I see him walking down our aisle, aisle 500, where our booth was, and there was a crowd of individuals with him. He has, I want to say a little small posse, you want to call it, right? Individuals. And one thing I noticed is that Stevie Wonder does not use a mobility cane. And that when you start off that piece of poetry, I'm happy you reread it for me, because I would not have brought this up. But he does not use a mobility cane. It seems like he has a guide with him wherever he goes. And
that's the same as Bellucci.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Bellucci, often, most times I've seen him, doesn't have his cane, and he'll have his wife Linda as a guide. So yeah, it's and there's two people, both amazing, talented musicians, who are completely blind.
Right.
And obviously, I was referring in the piece of poetry to people at kind of my stage, or maybe slightly before my stage, who don't, who still have, some central vision or some peripheral vision, or some kind of vision that they can use to get around, who will need a cane in certain situations, and other times they may not need a cane if they're at home, or if they're somewhere familiar, or sometimes they want to just like not use it and just hold a hand or whatever. And I think I make the point of that because at the early stages of using a long cane for the first time, it's a big step for people.
Right.
It's it takes a lot to kind of make that adjustment, and everyone kind of goes through it. And I think it's important for people to know that it's okay to, use it the times you need it, and then other times not, if you're okay to get around.
Right.
Because it doesn't need to be something that, like, when you pick it up, you just have to use it forever.
Right.
So I think, I've talked about it in different pieces of poetry. I think it's a thing that we need to talk about more, because there's a big stigma with using a cane, and I think that needs to be taken away. I think we should feel confident enough to to kind of use it when we need to. I mean, I'm at the stage now where I do use my cane everywhere I go now.
Right.
But a while ago, I would walk around if I was somewhere familiar, with it folded up in my hand, and then if it got busy, or I needed to use it in certain places, I would unfold it in front of people and not care about what they thought. But I think that's the reason I wanted to kind of talk about that within the poem.
Yeah, no, you reminded me of that, and I'm just going to pull up here a picture of So Diane had, and Sam Seavey had the ability to spend some time, probably close to 10 minutes, with Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder, if anyone's curious, he really enjoys the latest and greatest technology as far as what's out there. And
Sam's the man for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Diane and Sam had the ability to share and really introduce the Blind Shell cell phone with Stevie Wonder, and he was quite intrigued by it. He is an iPhone user, but he was actually very intrigued by it, and so it was quite positive. So
I was actually talking about it with someone the other day. There was someone who put on one of the Facebook groups about, I think it was the partner who had got to the stage where he was really struggling with his iPhone, even with, the tech on there. And they were looking for suggestions. And I suggested the Blind Shell because it's just such a great device and really simple and easy to use for people.
Right. So thank you, Ken, for sharing that quote. I never realized that's a quote. Just because a man lacks the use of his eyes doesn't mean he lacks vision. And that's something that we say all the time. All the time.
Yep.
Tracy, I'm adding you right now. It's so accurate. It's so accurate. That comes up all the time. I was able to, I've heard a lot of things as far as along those lines, specifically. So
it's an integral piece of my, that is a theme that pops up in my poetry all the time. I often talk about how I actually see more now than I did before. I'd really, it's funny actually that I put a post out the other day, and I'm sure you've seen this, Barry, but I'll ask the question anyway. I shared a video that popped up on my Facebook memories. So in the next couple of weeks, it'll be my kind of 8-year anniversary of being diagnosed officially with RP, when kind of everything changed for me.
Right.
And I had to stop driving and everything else. It's nearly 8 years now. And a couple of years later, when I got my guide dog, Christopher, who is sat here with me at the moment, and I was saying at the beginning of this call, it's actually National Puppy Day today. I've seen people on Instagram, Rebecca Alexander, our good friend Rebecca, and Brian Manning as well. Oh, sorry, Brad Manning, who is just had a little boy as well, and he's. Did you know that? I take it you knew that, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, little Teddy, and he was cuddled in with their pup as well. They've got a little dog. But yeah, so when Stand By Me RP first came out, and I was matched with my guide dog Christopher, I went away on a kind of 10-day residential training course with my guide dog, learning all the commands and things like that. And then when I arrived back home after that residential, I went straight into filming a short documentary film with these students from Oxford University. And it was called Blindsighted, and it is on YouTube, but you've got to kind of have the link to find it. It's kind of hidden. But I've shared it on Facebook a few times, and it popped up in my Facebook memories a few days ago, and I reshared it. And it was really quite strange looking back on the person I was back then, right at the beginning of my kind of journey with my blindness and low vision. My first book had just come out, but I was still really struggling with anxiety and depression. And if you look at me on that film now, compared to, or then compared to now, it's crazy. It's crazy. And that is, like, we were saying about how actually now I see more, even though I see a lot less. The vision in my mind is so much more now, and the way I use the little bit of vision I have to appreciate the little things is so much more now than it was back then. And and there's the picture.
There's the picture. So the picture that I have on the screen is Diane Ducharme, Sam Seavey, and Stevie Wonder. And I was so happy that Sam and Diane got to meet and spend time with Stevie Wonder. It's funny. I had a meeting within the conference hall that he was there. I got to see him, but I couldn't personally spend time with him. I had to run, and so I didn't have the opportunity. But I'm glad that Diane.
Wish I'd have been there. He is just a huge idol of mine musically and as a writer. He's a real inspiration to me, and has been for a long, long time. Stevie and Prince are my two
Well,
So
Prince, I don't think
they were
you'll be seeing Prince, but
no, definitely not. That would be a shock. But no,
yeah.
I remember, when we had a couple of years ago, we had all these major kind of celebrities pass away suddenly, and I remember putting a Facebook post out saying, please, someone wrap Stevie Wonder in bubble wrap, just like take care of that guy, because we don't want to. I just couldn't, bear losing him.
Really nice guy, really sweet guy, really nice.
Yeah,
really nice. So,
and he's worked with Belushi as well.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. See, if I
yeah,
next time
about it before.
Next time I bump into him, I will have to bring that up.
Yeah, but Stevie works with Belushi, and yeah, they know each other pretty well, a few times.
Okay. I did not know that. All right, if I would have known, I would have made sure Diane would have shared that. So, but all right, but we'll have to say that for next time.
So we were just talking about before you came back about how next week is going to be a very, very special week.
Yes.
And a very hectic week. This time next week, this time next week, I will be getting ready to start tea and poetry, because we're an hour difference now.
Right. When do you change the clock? Next week?
This weekend. This weekend, the clocks go forward this weekend. So we'll be back to 9 o'clock UK time for next week's tea and poetry. But I'm going to do is I'm going to stay awake until our cab picks us up at 2:30 in the morning, and then sleep on the plane to San Francisco.
Right. So I will not be present next week on Tea and
No,
Poetry.
you won't. No, you won't.
Because I will be traveling.
Yes, you will.
I will be traveling. I am actually going over to the UK on Sunday night.
Are we announcing?
I guess we're announcing right now.
Let's announce it. Come on, tell everyone what you're doing. Just before he does this, guys, this is incredible what Barry's doing. I just, I'm totally blown away with what's happening next week. But please explain.
So, as many of you know, Dave is up for this very prestigious award from RNIB, Royal National Institute for the Blind. That is correct. RNIB, is that what it stands for? And that's a very prestigious organization in the UK for the sight loss community. And so when I got wind that Dave is up for this award, as far as I think correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know the exact title, but it's most
social media impact.
Social media impact. Yeah, you took the word out of my mouth. As far as using social media, making an impact, and obviously Dave does that day in, day out. And so I felt that it would be a very unique opportunity to go over to the UK and to be on site with Dave at the event on next Tuesday evening. And so we put that in motion. I was originally gonna call up Amy and like really surprise Dave and just like show up there, and Dave would have been like, what is going on? But since I see the communication from on emails, on communication through RNIB as far as the overall evening and stuff like that, it started to get a little tricky because they needed to confirm they have a very limited amount of space for attendees, because there's maybe it's changed now because UK has pretty much lifted every restriction there. But in any event, it's very restricted. It's only like 300 people. So I said, you know what? I better come clean. I better give Dave a heads up that I am going to be on hand. And I remember the smile on your face when I shared that with you. But the crazy thing is that I also made a commitment to Dave that I would pick him up in San Francisco next Thursday, because Dave is coming in to be a keynote speaker Friday night at an event in the Bay Area. So what I've decided to do is to continue with that promise and basically go over to the UK for Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday flying to the West Coast to San Francisco, and I will be there for Dave on Thursday afternoon. Greet him at San Francisco, give him the grand tour of San Francisco. We just go out to the Golden Gate, Lombard, and show him from distance Alcatraz, and go out there and spend some time together. And then I will be
I have been to San Francisco a few times before. It's been a long time. Last time I was in San Francisco was 1998. My sister lived in San Francisco for the best part of 20 years. So I have spent a lot of time in San Francisco. And yeah, it would be great to, obviously, it would be Amy's first time in America and obviously first time in San Francisco. And San Francisco is a very special place for me. It'd be great to kind of do, obviously, Golden Gate, I think, read a piece of poetry by Golden Gate Bridge and maybe like Chinatown.
So yeah, so we'll definitely do some live streams. So look out for that.
Yeah.
Through social media, we'll definitely be doing some live streams. I have this place that I love to go to, and I'm curious if anyone here has a specific favorite area by the Golden Gate.
I'll probably know it. Where is it?
Well, first I happen to love. So right after you come off, when you're leaving San Francisco and you're crossing the bridge, there's the main lookout is you exit to the right, where you can park the car and actually you can walk, and you can actually backtrack and actually walk across the bridge.
Walk up, yeah.
So we'll do that. But then what we'll do is we will go down to Sausalito, which is down on the water.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, we go down there. Oh, it's on the water. It's beautiful. But then when we come up from Sausalito, we will go on the other side of the highway as if we're heading back into San Francisco. But there's this like off the beaten pathway, it's not a paved road, where we can go up this hill, and then we're on the other side of the Golden Gate, and it's just magnificent there. So one of my favorite spots.
Can't wait. Yeah, can't wait. And we're going to get some amazing footage and pictures and video, and a great piece of poetry. And
yeah. Unfortunately, I wish I could be there for the weekend. Unfortunately, I cannot. So,
me too.
I will be heading back to New York on Thursday evening, and Dave will be there flying solo with Amy, but I know he's going to be doing an incredible job. And I'm really looking forward to next week, and as far as being on hand, and want to make that extra effort. So especially because of COVID, we've been isolated and not have been able to see each other so on a frequent basis. I felt that this would be a great opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely blown away that you've been, that you're doing this for us, and obviously appreciate it, and obviously the timing with my mum passing away a couple of weeks ago, and it was actually the funeral last Thursday. It's well needed. So I think I'm looking forward to it. I feel like a kid at Christmas at the moment. Every night I'm going to bed and smiling, thinking of all the moments that we have to come over the next few weeks, and I can't wait to share these with everyone on the call tonight.
Absolutely. I also want to share, by the way, I know I've shared with you, but I'm going to share with everyone here, Dave's new business cards have arrived.
You want to audio describe that to people?
I will audio describe it. So it's white card, high contrast background. It says Dave Steele, poet, author, and keynote speaker. It has the official office address in Timonium, because that is Dave's official office location.
Base. Yep.
Dave's obviously has got his email address on there as well, a website address, theblindpoet.net. But it also has on the on the right side, it has the BP logo. But what's unique about this logo here, that it is raised. It has an actual tactile feel to it, which is pretty cool. I'm just trying to pause.
So if it's raised, then that'd be Braille, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, it's close. It's close. It's not that high, but you can definitely feel it. The BP is raised. It's hard to tell here, but it is raised. And then on the back, it's just completely black, and the Blind Poet is in white, and then the entire Blind Poet logo on the back is raised as well.
Wow.
And the cards have this like velvety type of feel to it. So
nice.
Really nice, high contrast, front white with black, the back inverted black with white. So looking forward to hand delivering those business cards to you.
Yeah, so, awesome. So yeah, it's going to be a really exciting week next week, and we've got plenty more to come. It doesn't stop with next week.
No, it does not.
Going into April, May, June, we've got some amazing things that we're working on in the background at the moment. And yeah, I can't wait to continue sharing this journey with everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's really exciting times. And I want to also just, I know Barb is not here, and we talked about this. Austin's
Yeah.
Amazing Adventures with Austin's Ambassadors.
Mhm.
That program is moving forward, and we're going to have a little video. We are going to have a new logo for that piece for Austin's Ambassadors. And for those of you who were not around over the last couple of weeks, where we were talking about Austin's ambassadors. Barb Calhoun, who is somewhat of a regular on here, and she's the catalyst who put myself and Dave in contact back and who arranged everything as far as us, put everything in motion for this incredible journey that we've been on together back in 2018. And what Barb did was, she lives in West Virginia. She went to one of the local schools in her town, and she took Austin's Amazing Adventures, and she, together with Dave, through live stream, they had this massive, like a 90-inch TV, I think it was. Dave was able to read the book to the school, and Barb was, physically on site as far as being an ambassador and to be able to facilitate that. And so what we decided to do was, I think really what was never even thought of when you guys first did that, but what came out of that was that
Out of team poetry,
exactly, was to have individuals like everyone out there. Again, it could be anyone of any age. It could even be children, as we were talking about this morning, about being able to take Austin's Amazing Adventures and being able to go into a school, present it to school, and then have Dave coming in virtually and maybe even piggybacking, live in some instances when he's here in the U.S., over the next few months. And
Definitely.
I think it was a great opportunity to be able to. We saw how successful it was as far as children, being able to open up that opportunity. And so we're going to be pushing this, really hard. And anyone out there that wants to participate, Barb Calhoun is going to be the primary point of contact. We're going to have additional updates and announcements around that in the coming days. So I just want to really highlight that, because anyone out there, whether if they have children, grandchildren that want to help and participate, I know that, let's say my 15-year-old has to do every year in high school, he has to do X amount of volunteer work. And this could be a very good opportunity for kids of all ages, if they need credits, if you want to call it, or volunteer hours to go out there and to help promote sight loss awareness and to educate the public. So very excited about this.
And it's not even just sight loss awareness. It's awareness on disability in general, and just even different challenges. We had obviously the UK schools are really picking up on it now. We've had lots of orders coming in. You probably noticed recently, Barry, you've been forwarding me the orders for the UK to send out, and a lot of them coming in from specialist schools and different councils, local government, ordering copies for their education sections. And yeah, it's, people are really starting to speak about this now. And, it is, about not just about low vision and blindness, it's about any child within a mainstream school that feels different for their challenges. So yeah, it's going to be incredible. I think Amy Grissom's just put up a flash there, saying she just got copies. Is that correct? On the group chat.
Oh, hold on one second. I got my copies coming. Yes, absolutely. And I also want to officially announce here that the Foundation Fighting Blindness will be also offering and selling Austin's Amazing Adventures online on their store online.
That's huge.
So yes,
yeah.
So, very excited about that, and a lot of great traction. I mean, I want to say collectively, everyone, whether individuals here who have participated to help, not just purchase but get the word out. It's moving along at a very nice pace, and just a lot of great momentum and we're seeing a lot of good things that are coming from this. So thank you to everyone for that.
Before we move on, because I want to get interactive, I want to speak to, we've got people. Travis has had his hand up right from the beginning. So we need our weekly dose of Travis.
I know it's hard to keep that hand up all the time, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We need our weekly dose of Travis. I want to hear from other people as well about anything that we've spoke about. I want to hear from Sedona Dave about how he feels about National Puppy Day with his little pup out there. He's been sending. Dave's written some poetry recently as well. He's been sending me poems. I don't know if you know this. He's been sending me pieces of poetry.
I heard a rumor. He's got some competition.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about that. But before we do that, I want to share with you another piece of poetry, because we had a break a couple of weeks ago where I was at a concert and I was still writing. And then over the last week, where things have been really busy, I've been writing lots. And I wanted to write a piece of poetry. It really sums up how I'm kind of feeling at the moment, with all these special moments that are to come and things that we've really got to look forward to, and how it kind of makes me feel. So I'll read you this and then we'll get interactive. Do you ever stop and think that you just wish you could press pause on today's little moments, but there's a hidden clause that life has endless obstacles, seems you were meant to face? What once was perfect vision is almost gone, just slightest trace. Well, I have learned to capture in my heart the sights I see. I know that this challenge was always meant for me. It's why each day I look at you like this could be my last, but you'll be here inside my mind long after vision's past. But all of this is yet to come. There is nothing set in stone, except I know that you, my love, I'll never be alone. The fire inside my soul for each victory the fire inside my soul, and for each victory the cause. But just for one more moment, can we stop and just press pause?
Yeah, stop and just press pause. And I think that applies to all of us. Stop and just press pause, right?
It's one of the things that I really do so much more now since I started to lose my sight, is whenever there's a special day, a special moment, the little moments when, you're just with your family and the kids are playing or whatever, or the days like we're going to have over the next week where things we've been looking forward to, times that we don't often get together. I often take that moment to take that mental picture and really press pause and soak it all in. And it's a thing that I'm really grateful for, that disability and blindness has taught me.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I think, even again, for someone who's sighted, tapping in and pushing pause on so many things around us every day, right? We all experience things, and there's a lot, very grateful for a lot of things, that all of us, that we have, and there are all these moments in life, like you said, we wish we could just dial them up, and things move at a very fast pace, and
it's one of the things that I learned about you from very much right at the beginning, which I really love about our friendship, and the kind of the way you are is, from even before me with Lanny D, and then every moment we kind of have together, you have this ability of maximizing the moments, and taking these special occasions and these special times together and seeing something in them and saying, oh, let's do this and let's do that, and making it really special. And I think with the time you had with Lanny, when you'd go about and do all these different events, and do coffee with Lanny D, and then obviously we seem to be going drinks wise. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Coffee time with Lanny D.
Coffee talk with Lanny D. Yeah.
Yeah, this seems to be first time I've really thought about that. But yeah, you seem to see these moments and really take the time to make them special, and it's something that I always really appreciate.
Right. Yeah, I know, it's my greatest pleasure, and I think for all of us, time is limited on every level, And so we need to, maximize everything that we do. And I before I know you want to bring some people in, just bear with me one moment here. There was something very interesting that one of my mentors who I follow really put things in perspective, and it really hit home with me. And I just pulled up this video on set over the weekend. And how many of you out there can rattle off how many hours there are in a year? Right? It's 8,760 hours in a year. Okay. If we work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, okay, 50 weeks a year, whatever it is, right? You take off about 2,000 hours there. Then if hopefully you're getting a good 7 hours of sleep, another 2,500 hours there. And we quickly come to the realization that there's not a lot of time left, right? It's things that we want to do. And we have to really push ourselves to maximize those hours and accomplish and not waste time. And it's something next week, San Francisco, right? We're going to do this whirlwind, visit of San Francisco. And I'm going to try to accomplish as much as we can within a few hours, but that's maximizing time. And for, all of us here, I think it's really crucial when you break things down and start looking at, even this mentor of mine, not just the hours in a year, but, we're X amount of years old, average lifespan is X, there's only X amount of summers left or X amount of opportunities to see X. I mean, you can fill in the blanks, and it really puts things in perspective. So I encourage everyone to, try and think like that. Of course, always be positive as far as that positive mindset, but to be able to break things down and to go out there and to, make a difference and do and really accomplish.
It's like that famous saying, isn't it? Live each day like it could be your last.
Yep.
And that's something that I think we all can kind of relate to.
Yeah,
Is a lesson from low vision, blindness, disability.
Yeah,
live each day like it could be your last.
Yeah, and no 0 days.
Yep.
You must accomplish every day. So whatever it might be. So let's go ahead and bring on Travis.
Everyone's got their hands up. There's like loads of hands
everywhere.
I see
a lot of hands up. I'm gonna start with Travis because Travis,
let's get them all on.
Travis, your hand's got to be hurting you from holding up for so long. Okay.
Strap in.
I'm waiting for Travis to unmute himself, and there he is.
You are watching live team coverage right here, right now on Tea and Poetry TV, brought to you by the Home Depot, How Doers Get More Done, the Ritz-Carlton, high-end hotel accommodations in the United States, including Half Moon Bay, Audi, featuring the all-new Audi all-electric vehicle, Kellogg cereal, featuring your world's famous breakfast cereal, and these fine sponsors.
Beautiful.
Nice. Beautiful.
How are you, Travis?
Wonderful. How about you guys?
Doing great. Doing great.
Yeah.
Doing great.
Yeah. So good to see you all. So
good to see you as well. I will tell you that was not happy to experience those very high gas prices on the West Coast, but quite out of control there in California.
You want to see the UK?
I'm afraid you're right.
That's a different level. You're talking a different level.
I hear that. I know.
160 a liter.
I don't know what that translates to, but I think it's like close to $8 a gallon. I think probably.
Well, how many gallons in a liter, or how many liters in a gallon?
I have no idea.
Let me find out.
I'll find out. I missed that day in class.
I'll work it out. You keep talking.
All right. Yeah, gas prices in California are for real. They are like in the $6 range, quite out of control. And yeah, it was quite painful. So But other than that,
Unfortunately,
California, things were great in California last week. And
Yep, absolutely. That's great that you had a wonderful time at CSUN, but it sounds like
Yes.
you're not coming to San Francisco next week since you're going to the UK prior.
no, I am. I'm doing both.
Oh,
Doing both.
Yeah.
so are you
Yes.
flying directly to SFO from the UK then?
I am
Yep.
flying via Los Angeles. I'm flying.
Okay.
I'm flying London Heathrow to Los Angeles, San Francisco. So,
Okay, gotcha.
yes. So yes.
Let me just chime back in a second. How much are you saying per gallon?
About $6 and change per gallon.
Yeah,
And a
we're
lot of
more than
parts.
that.
Yeah.
How much does that translate? How much are you guys paying?
Let me work a second. We are $7.20.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been very. I know. Here in the U.S., I know just from my personal experiences from traveling abroad. In the U.S., we've been always been very fortunate to have fairly, or somewhat, economical, gas prices. But now for us, it's quite painful, and it, honestly, it's just gone up on your side as well. So you're feeling it quite a bit more.
Yep.
So, yeah. So anything, Travis? Anything new up in the Central Coast? Is that what you call Central Coast?
Yes, Central Coast.
Anything exciting going on up there?
Well, nothing too shabby. I found out when our Mid-State Fair takes place this summer in July, John Fogerty is going to be coming. I found out from Creedence Clearwater.
All right.
And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that will be good. And work is going well for me. Home Depot's still going well.
Good.
And as of the 25th, this Friday, it'll be 6.5 years since I've been with the company.
Congratulations. I wish you many, many more successful years with the Home Depot.
Thank you. And it looks like Philip Georgie chimed in, Barry,
yes,
that he didn't know about your visit last week, but obviously you were not in his neck of the woods.
No. I was in Southern California.
And Philip would like to meet us next week. Well,
yes,
he would like
we are finalizing the schedule. So Philip, I promise you'll hear from me just very shortly. And I know your time is very limited as well. So we will. I promise you, we will make it happen. So
he had a meeting place last week. He was talking when you weren't on, and he had a place we could meet in between kind of the hotel and San Francisco. So yeah.
Okay, fine, perfect.
Looks like Phillips is looking forward to seeing you guys, hopefully.
Yep. Hopefully.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we can't wait. First, yep. Sorry, I'm just dealing with some panic.
Hey, no worries. But
no, on my side, we have virtual PTA, and so it's almost 5 o'clock here on the East Coast, and my wife is freaking out that I haven't sent her the links for.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, the Parent Teachers Association.
Yes.
Aha.
Yes. I don't. Yes.
Have we got time to squeeze in anyone else? Can we bring multiple people in before we finish up?
Yeah. Let me go ahead, Dave. I'm going to have you unmute Sedona, Dave, and I'm going to also Cindy. I'm going to lower everyone's unmute everyone.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, Sedona Dave works.
Yeah. Sedona Dave is literally in the house. Hey, Dave Steele. Hey, Barry. Hey.
Hello.
Everybody. Thanks for being here today.
My fellow poet.
I am in the house right now. It's gorgeous out here in Sedona, but my bandwidth's been gobbled up. As you were talking about, hit the pause button. This is all relating to National Puppy Day, and yes. I do have a puppy, and it's like this. If you've got a golden retriever puppy, you deserve it. He's not with us today. Barry was on an earlier call with me that the pup got sick. He's at the hospital right now.
Ooh.
Again, puppies are so adorable. Everybody loves puppies, but puppies are puppies. Okay, especially with golden retrievers, everything goes in their mouths. And,
yes.
And pet insurance, mine kicks in in a couple of weeks. I could use it today.
Ooh.
But no, it's all good. I'm not. My panicking moments are over. He's being monitored. I mean, honestly, and here's the deal. Somehow between last night and this morning, Travis, you'll recognize this. This is a washer with a stainless screen. You know that goes into a garden hose for pumps or timers. And this was in his stomach. That came out this morning. So
Oh no!
again, if you've got a
no.
puppy, it's good because it's out.
Okay, good.
And he's on bed rest and hydrating and all that. Bottom line is puppies are just awesome and we love them, but they're puppies and you got to remember they're puppies. That being said, if I could blast a really quick poem out there to y'all, and then I'll hand the mic over. And it is Poetry Day. So
there's mine right there.
Adorable. Aw. So
nice.
Aw. Good baby.
Oh, you know what? My vet is calling. I am sorry. I have to bail out.
No.
I had a haiku, but I have to bail out. Vet's calling. Cheers to everybody. Take care.
Okay,
then. Good luck.
Good luck.
See you next
Good
week.
luck.
Cheers. Bye.
Thoughts with you.
All right. Who do we unmute there? Cynthia?
Yes. Hi, Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi. How you doing? Congratulations on everything, by the way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
congrats, Dave.
Yes, because you're an example to us who are trying to persevere in life, especially with all this technology and high technology, and trying to overcome this limitation in itself is hard. You talk about the white cane and how people will say if they don't see you with it or you see you acting normal, how can that be? We're trying to be normal. We really are normal people. We're normal people that have some limitations in our body. Everybody's got something to offer and we all need a hand to be able to make that happen. And I'm very grateful for the people in my life, especially the people at Insight, the friends I've made and the staff there that are helping us to get quality of life and to become a blessing to someone else. You know, you've shown us that that's possible too, with all you've accomplished. So very grateful for that and being able to listen to team poetry and being able to speak. Your poems are so inspirational because we got to take each day one day at a time and know that we can overcome this and that we can make a difference. You know,
Absolutely.
like there's some days we take a couple of steps forward, then we fall backwards and we think we're not going to get up and be able to go forward again, but we can. When we got the right support system around us, we can. You know, I love
And
the
you do that.
animals.
Yeah, you
know,
do that.
one-
Insight is incredible, and I know Doreen was on the call earlier. I don't know if she's still here listening in. I know Doreen was. I need to ask you, Cindy. Did you? I don't know how long you've been involved with Insight, but did you ever meet Sister Fran?
I am not sure. I probably did. Because
Okay.
I've been with Insight a little while, and what made it possible for even more, like I said, to be done with me was the ride bus, because it got me more mobile and
Yep.
getting to places and doing more. So yes, I probably did.
Well, hopefully in the near future, fingers crossed, touch wood, I will be back in Rhode Island.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and we can do a live event there, which is going to be incredible with all the people we've got.
Yes. You know, you're giving me inspiration. I love animals and they're good for the soul, but I think one day maybe I'd like a little dog too. You know, I know that I have my cat, so the guide dog program, unless they come to me, you know, unless I can take her with me, because I'm legally blind and I could have a guide dog also.
I see Kathy there with a dog behind her on the sofa. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. Well, you know, there's a Netflix show about a woman who's legally blind also. And she's this girl, they did a story on her, and she's actually going to be in a Netflix series. So it shows that our limitations don't have to dictate to us
100%.
how we have to live our lives.
100%. Well, listen, Cindy, thank you very much for joining us
Thank
every
you.
week. We're
Thank
going to try
you.
and see if we can squeeze one more person in, I think, maybe before we go.
Yeah, actually, Mark wants to come on here. Let me just bring Mark on.
Yeah, of course. The hour goes nowhere.
It does. So hold on a second. My computer mouse is acting up. Mark, I'm going to allow you to talk. Mark, you just have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
All good. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good to see you all, and want to say hello to Travis. He belongs to same vision group I do.
Hey, that's
Oh
great.
my goodness. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Travis.
How you doing?
Well,
Yeah, I'm
welcome
doing good.
to Tea and Poetry, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
You're gonna have a
welcome
good-
aboard.
You're going to have a good trip when you come out here this way.
Yeah, can't
I'm
wait.
sure. Anyway, I wanted to share something about the cane. I struggled with using the cane for a long time because I felt like I was drawing attention to myself. And I really struggled with that and finally got over it. And by using the cane, life just became so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really actually a blessing to be. I don't care anymore about using the cane. I just use it, and I don't use it all the time because I don't need to.
Yep.
But I do use it when I'm in town and I have to walk on the streets. It's just so much easier. And the thing about the cane is it really lets people know that, you know, that I have a problem with my sight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's something that's really important that, I try and speak about a lot, is the fact that it's just as important as it being a symbol or a signal to other people than it is to actually what it does to help us get around.
Right.
I'm walking around and swiping my cane from left to right as I walk, and I'm looking straight ahead, and it frees me up to kind of look around. And I'll use it in obviously crossing roads and finding curbs and all that kind of thing to kind of detect these kind of hazards. But just as important is of showing other people that you do have some kind of issue with your vision, and I think that's that it does make things easier.
That's a real big part of it. So I just wanted to share that. And anyway, I look forward to seeing Travis again. We're going to be having a kayak trip with Allison Berger with the Go See Foundation.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Coming up. So
We love
anyway,
Allison.
I'll let somebody else talk, but it's good to be able to share something here.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Guys.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you'll keep coming back and tell more people about tea and poetry.
Thank you. Yeah, I will.
Take
Okay.
care, Mark. All right, Dave. Let's wrap things up here. I got to run.
Yeah.
I hope everyone enjoyed, and I'm sorry for me jumping on in the beginning, coming on a little late, but it's great to be back, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, busy week next week, and thank you so much for everyone that's joins us week in, week out for tea and poetry, and I hope you continue to do so, tell more people, and enjoy this hour, which is truly international. But I'm going to leave you with this. There's days when sight loss lays upon my chest and I can't breathe. For all that I have lost and what's to come, my vision grieve. When all the things I've overcome, I suddenly forget. It's like the person I've become, I've never even met. Suddenly I'm caught within a panic in the haze, transported back to how I used to feel in darkest days, questioning if I can cope when little left has gone. But I know there is hope and life will always carry on. It's like the stars that fill the nighttime sky that I can't see. I know that they're still here, but just like me. Sorry, I know that they're still there, but just like the strength that's left in me. And if you feel the same sometimes, please know that you're not alone. There's answers and solutions to the problems yet unknown. I recall all I've faced in times of yesterday, have left me with some scars, but now I found another way.
Beautiful.
Okay, guys, have an awesome week, and join us next week for what's going to be finding out how we went on at the R&IB Awards in London,
Yeah.
myself and Barry there. So we'll be able to announce what went on and tell you all about that, and also building up to this amazing trip to SFO, California, San Francisco. It's going to be incredible. So take care, guys, and see you next week. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Tea and Poetry, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Join us live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK. A big thank you to our sponsors, the Lanny D. Chesapeake Lighthouse and the Low Vision Shop. If you enjoyed Tea and Poetry, please invite a friend, like, share, and subscribe.